What's going on, everybody? It's Jonathan from OT for Tech, and today I want to talk to you about how you can change the way your 2014 Motorola Moto X looks. Now, the Motorola Moto X is a remarkable device, and one of its key selling points is the fact that you can customize it to your liking. Well, what happens when later on down the road you get really bored of the design that you initially picked out? Well, you can get a skin from Slick Wraps or D-Brand, which is all good, but you can get an authentic wood skin to replace your authentic wood Moto X from a company named Toast. Pricing starts off at $24 just for the rear panel. For an additional $10, you can get a piece to cover the front panel, and an additional $5 on top of that, you can get customized text or etching. They make skins for many different devices, so you're not limited just to the 2014 Motorola Moto X. In fact, I've covered many different skins from Toast for many different devices. I'll leave a link to a couple in the description of this video. The one that you see here is the ash version, and I will be using it to cover up my walnut Motorola Moto X. If you've ever applied a skin to a device before, then you'll feel right at home with the installation of this one. However, just keep in mind this is using 3M adhesive, so it's much stronger than your typical adhesive found on most skins. This means you need to take extra time when lining up the skin and positioning it to make sure all the openings and cutouts are in place. If, however, you do screw up, because accidents do happen, use a heat gun on low or a blow dryer on the low setting and heat up the 3M adhesive and slowly remove the skin from the device. Go ahead and reposition it and seal it into place. When putting on the front panel portion of the skin, use the same directions as the rear panel. However, I will say that the skin is a little bit more easier to remove off glass than it is the wood back. Once this thing is installed, it looks beautiful. The fact that the skin is made of real wood makes a tremendous difference when looking at the texture of the wood. At the top, you can see you have a cutout for your camera and flash, as well as the Motorola dimple that Motorola is known for. On the bottom, you have a cutout for the rear microphone, so there's no blocking it or interfering with the functionality at all. Plus, you have the Toast logo. You'll also find your custom engraved text if you chose to get that in the same area. Moving on to the front, you can see it covers everything but the display itself, and this includes the tiny little bezels on the side of the Motorola Moto X. Starting at the top, you'll find a cutout for your earpiece, your front-facing camera, your dedicated sensors, and your infrared sensors as well. At the bottom, you'll find a cutout for your front-facing speaker and some more infrared sensor cutouts. The sensors, the front-facing camera, the front-facing speaker, and the earpiece are a little bit more recessed with the use of the skin, however, it does not interfere with the function. Now, you will notice the added thickness that this skin adds to your Moto X, but it's not a significant difference. In fact, it's going to give you a little bit more protection, but I'm not saying run out there and drop your Moto X from 12 feet high and expect it to survive with the skin on it. I'm saying that it's going to give you some protection from your casual scratches and maybe a foot-high drop. Now, just like the front of the phone, the camera on the back, including the dimple, are going to be a little bit more recessed with the use of the skin. However, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't interfere with the function of the camera or the resting spot for your finger. Now, just like I mentioned in all my other Toastmade reviews, it does attract a lot of lint and dust on the edges of the skin, and it's just a natural thing that happens with skins in general. Now, like I said, there are cutouts for the infrared sensors, and you can see here it does not interfere with the function of this feature whatsoever, so it's going to work like there was no skin on your phone, period. I have used Toastmade skins before in the past that actually interfered with swiping up and down or side to side, and I have not ran into this problem with the Moto X 2014 Toastmade skin. In fact, it swipes just as good as not having the skin on my phone, whether I'm swiping up for Google Now or side to side when I'm browsing my apps. The in-the-hand feel feels exactly as you would expect a real wood skin to feel. It feels actually more natural than the real wood back Motorola Moto X. The Moto X kind of feels more like paper, as this feels more like a piece of wood, giving it a more authentic feel. It doesn't add a lot of bulk, and it definitely maintains that slim, sleek, in-the-hand feel that the Moto X is known for. Like I said in the beginning, there are a lot of other skin companies out there, and if you have a plastic back Moto X and you want more of a carbon fiber or a leather back, you might find a better option over at D-Brands or Slick Wraps. But if you want that authentic wood feel that you did not get originally with your Moto X, Toastmade definitely has the skin for you. Well guys, that does it for me. I really hope this video helps you out in keeping your Motorola Moto X looking fresh and not boring. If it did, make sure you hit that like button if you feel like being awesome. Also, if you did like this video, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Follow me on all my social media connections, as I'm always on there, and it's a much easier way to communicate with me. Other than that, take care everybody, and I will see you in the next one.
Bye.